ॐ वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणं तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ नमो भगवते वैवस्वताय मृत्यवे ब्रह्मविद्याचार्याय नचिकेतसे च। We will read the Bhashyam once again from the beginning. स्थूलावधारणेन एव मूलावधारणं वृक्षस्य क्रियते लोके यथा एवं संसार कार्य वृक्ष अवधारणेन मूलस्य ब्रह्मणः स्वरूप अवधिधारयिषा इयं षष्ठी वल्ली आरभ्यते। अवधिधारयिषा अवधारयितुम् इच्छा अवधिधारयिषा तया अवधिधारयिषा। ओके। ऊर्ध्वमूलो वाक्शाखः एषोऽश्वत्थः सनातनः तदेव शुक्रं तद्ब्रह्म तदेवामृतमुच्यते।
तदेवामृतमुच्यते
तस्मिन् लोकाः श्रिताः सर्वे
तस्मिन्
लोकाः
लोकाश्रिताः सर्वे
तदुनात्येति कश्चन
तदुनात्येति कश्चन
एतद्वै तत्
एतद्वैतत्
मूलो वाक्शाकः एषोश्वत्तः सनातनः. This part of the mantra is explained in the first two paragraphs of the Vashyam, which we have done. Now the rest of the line of the mantra, we have to see the Vashyam. So that we have to see the Vashyam. We will read the Vashyam. Urdhvamulaha.
ऊर्ध्वमूलः
ऊर्ध्वं मूलं यत् तद्विष्णोः परमं पदम्
तद्विष्णोः
परमं
अस्य इति सः अयम् अव्यक्तादिस्तावरान्तः संसार वृक्ष ऊर्ध्वमूलः वृक्षश्च वरश्चनात् जन्म जरा मरण शोकादि अनेक अनर्थात्मकः
जन्म जरा मरण शोकानेकानर्थात्मकः
प्रतिक्षणम् अन्यथा स्वभावः आया मरीचि उदक गंधर्व नगरादिवत् दृष्टनष्ट स्वरूपत्वात् अवसाने च वृक्षवत् अभावात्मकः
माया गंधर्व नगरादिवत् नष्ट स्वरूपत्वात् अवसाने च वृक्षवत् अभावात्मकः
कदली स्तंभवत् निस्सारः
कदली स्तंभवत् निस्सारः
अनेक शतपाखंड बुद्धि विकल्पास्पदः
अनेक शतपाखंड बुद्धि
विकल्पास्पदः तत्त्वजिज्ञासुभिः अनिर्धारितेदं तत्त्वः अनिर्धारितेदं तत्त्वः अनिर्धारितेदं तत्त्वः. ओके. वेदांत निर्धारित परब्रह्म मूलसारः
वेदांत
विद्या काम कर्म अव्यक्त बीज प्रभवः अपर ब्रह्म विज्ञान क्रिया शक्ति द्वयात्मक हिरण्यगर्भाङ्कुरः
अपर ब्रह्म विज्ञान क्रिया हिरण्यगर्भाङ्कुरः
सर्व प्राणिलिंग भेद स्कंदः
सर्व प्राणिलिंग भेद स्कंदः
कृष्णा जल अवसेक उद्भूत दर्पः बुद्धीन्द्रिय विषय प्रबालांकुरः
बुद्धीन्द्रिय विषय
बुद्धिन्द्रिय विषय
प्रवालांकुरः
प्रबलांकुरः
श्रुति स्मृति न्याय विद्योपदेश पलाशः
श्रुति
श्रुति
स्मृति न्याय
स्मृति न्याय
विद्योपदेश
विद्योपदेश
पलाशः
पलाशः
सुख दुःख वेदनानेकरसः
one more word before that.
More word.
यज्ञ दान तप
Oh, sorry. यज्ञदान तपादि अनेक क्रियासु पुष्पः
यज्ञदान
यज्ञदान
दान
तपादि अनेक
अनेक
क्रियासु
क्रियासु पुष्पः
पुष्पः
सुख दुःख वेदनानेक रसः
सुख
दुःख
दुःख
वेदना
वेदना अनेक रसः
अनेक रसः
तानि उपजीव्य अनन्तफलः
प्राणी
प्राणी
उपजीव्य अनंत
उपजीव्य अनन्तफलः
फलः
तृष्णा सलिल अवसेक प्ररूढ जठीकृत दृढबद्ध मूलः
सलिल
तत्तृष्णा
अवसेक
सलील
प्ररूढ
अवसेक
जठीकृत
प्ररूढ
दृढ
अवसेक
बद्ध
प्ररूढ
मूलः
जडीकृत दृढ
बद्धमूलः
बद्धमूलः
सत्यनामादि सप्तलोक ब्रह्मादिभूतः
सत्यनामादि
सत्यनामादि
अमादि
सप्तलोक
सप्तलोक
ब्रह्मादिभूतः
ब्रह्मादिभूत
भूतपक्षीकृत नीडः
भूतपक्षीकृत
पक्षीकृत
नीडः
नीडः
प्राणि सुख दुःखोद्भूत हर्ष शोक जात नृत्य गीतवादित्रक्ष्वेलिता स्फोटित हसित आकृष्ट रुदित हाह मुञ्च मुञ्च इत्यादि अनेक शब्द कृत तुमुलीभूत महारवः लॉन्ग वन ट्राई
प्राणी
प्राणी
सुख
प्राणि
सुख
सुख
भूत
दुःखोद्भूत
दुःखोद्भूत
हर्ष शोक जात
जात
नृत्य गीत वादी
नृत्यगीतवादी क्षेलिता स्फोटित हासिता आकृष्ट रुदिता आहा मुञ्च मुञ्च
मुञ्च मुञ्चेत्यादि अनेक शब्द कृत तुमुलीभूत महारवः
भूत महारवः
वेदांत विगित ब्रह्मात्म दर्शन असंग शस्त्र कृतोच्छेदः
वेदांत
वेदांत
विहित
विहित
ब्रह्मात्म
ब्रह्मात्म
दर्शनासङ्गशस्त्रकृतोच्छेदः
कृतोच्छेद
छेदः एषः संसार वृक्षः
एषः
अश्वत्थः
अश्वत्थः
अश्वत्थवत् कामकर्म वात ईरित वात ईरित नित्य प्रचलित स्वभावः वातेरित
अश्वत्थवत् कामकर्मवान्
प्रेरित स्वभावः
स्वभावः
वातेरित वात ईरित वातेरित स्वर्ग नरक तिर्यक् प्रेतादिभिः शाखाभिः अवाक्शाकः
स्वर्ग नरक तिर्यक् प्रेतादिभिः शाखाभिः अवाक्शाकः
सनातनः
सनातनः
नादित्वात् चिरं प्रवृत्तः
अनादित्वात् चिरं प्रवृत्तः
After this we have seen many classes. The last 4-5 classes only this 2 paragraph only. Now we will see the next paragraph, the last paragraph, which describes the remaining part of the mantra. Tadeva Shukram Tad Brahma, from that onwards. So the last word was Sanatanaha. This samsara vriksha is Urdhvamulaha Vakshakaha is compared to Ashvatta vrikshaha and Sanatanaha. So this samsara vrikshaha, this ashvatta vrikshaha, ashvattavat kama karma vaterita nitya prajarita svabhavaha. That why it is compared to ashvatta vriksha? It is said by Bhashyakara, like the ashvatta vriksha, which is pracharita svabhavaha, vataihi, vatena irita. It is always, it is shaken by vataihi, by the wind, powerful wind of what? Kama karma. Therefore, it is samsara vrikshaha ashvattaha iti. And it is the word sanatanaha is the sanatanaha is that which doesn't have Bhashyakara himself says sanatanaha nadivata chiram pravutaha. From the beginninglessly it has been there. So it doesn't have beginning. It is there and it is lasting for a long time, continuing for a long time. That is called sanatanaha. So sanatanaha, the samsara vriksha, it is last long because it doesn't have a beginning. It will last. How long it will last? Samsara is because of ajnanam. As long as this ajnanam continues, samsara will continue. Samsara is nothing but ajnana. So that will continue as long as it is not uprooted by jnanam. As long as jnanam doesn't take place, this ajnanam the samsara will continue. Therefore, this anadimatvam chiram pravurtaha. Anadimatvam is anaditvam. Anaditvam chiram pravurtaha. The chiram pravurtaha. It will continue. It will not go away on its own. Ajnanam will not go away on its own. Ajnanam will go only when knowledge takes place. Knowledge will take place only when there is pramana vyapara. Only when the pramana is operated by the acharya, only when the knowledge takes place, then only the samsara will go. So ajnana, yes, ajnana nivrittihi is jnanena, that is ajnana, the samsara vrikshasya patanam jnanena eva bhavati. So for that pramanam, shastram is important, shastram guru important. So therefore chiram pravurtaha, it will last long. Therefore it is sanatanaha. It has been there. When did this samsara started? We cannot say. Avidya vasanaya aneka janma krita punya papehi in sankalpa, avinivitam sankalpa, we say anadi avidya, so many janmas we have taken, different janmas we have taken, and it is still continuing. Kenapi punya karmana, by some punya karma, this manishya janma has come and it has to be used properly. So therefore this avidya is there since long time. Therefore it is sanatanaha. Now the next paragraph we'll read. Yadasya samsara vrikshasya
samsara
moolam
Moolam
tadeva shukram shubhram shuddham
Tam
jyotishmat
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 Chaitanya Jyotihi Swabhavam. Chaitanya
Chaitanya
Jyotis. Chaitanya Jyotis.
Atma-jyoti-swabhavam.
Chaitanya Atma Jyotis Swabhavam.
Chaitanya
Chaitanya Atma Jyoti Swabhavam
Jyoti-swabhavam.
Tadeva Brahma.
Tadeva
Tadeva
Brahma
Brahma
Sarvamahatvat.
Sarvamahatma.
Sarvamahatvat.
So, Brahma, which is the Moolam, Samsara Vrikshasya Moolam. Moolam is Karanam. Brahma, which is the Karanam for the Samsara Vriksha. What Karanam? Vivarta Upadana Karanam. Without undergoing any change, Brahma manifests the form of this Samsara. So, that Moolam is talked about. Tadeva Brahma. That Moolam. Yetu Moolam. Yetu Moolam Asya. That which is the root of what? The Samsara Vrikshasya. Tadeva, that Moolam is Shukram. Shukram Shubram. Shubram is, Shukram means white. It is white. White means it is not the color white, it is pure. Shukram denotes here it is pure. Pure means it is not contaminated. It is not contaminated. It means it is not influenced. Contamination is influence. It is not influenced by Maya. Maya is the vibhuti of Ishvara. Maya tu prakritim vidyam, Mayinam tu Maheshvara. Whereas for the Vyashti Jiva, this Ajnanam is a problem, whereas for Ishvara is a vibhuti. So, the Brahma in this Maya Sagita Brahma is the Karna, but the Brahma continues to be Shuddham. Maya has got Trigunatmika, three gunas, Trigunatmika, Maya, and the Srishti, which happens because of Maya Sagita Brahma. The Maya, this includes, that is a Srishti Karanam includes the Papa Punya. This Papa Punya will not touch Brahma. Therefore, Brahma continues to be pure. Therefore it is Shukram, Shubram. So the Maya, it has the seed of the whole Srishti, the seed being the Papa Punya, because of which the Brahma is not influenced. Why? Because Brahma is Paramarthika Sattha. This Maya, this otherwise called is Mula Vidya, that is not, that cannot influence this Paramartha Brahma because of this different order of reality. So Maya is the Karanam for this Prapancha. It is Vyavaharika. It has got Vyavaharika Satta, Vyavaharika reality. Brahma is Paramarthika and it is the highest order of reality. So therefore, like how this Jagrat Prapancha, how the Swapna Prapancha cannot touch Jagrat Prapancha. Similarly, different order of reality. So therefore, the Maya and Maya Karyam cannot touch Brahma. Therefore, Brahma, because Brahma being the Mula, the Karanam, and therefore it continues to be pure. So, Samsara Vrikshasya Yatu Moolam Brahma, Tat Shukram Shubram Bhavati. Shukram has got another Shukram Shuddham, and another meaning also is that one is Shubram, Shukram, Shuddham is pure. Another meaning is Jyotishmat. Jyotishmat is that which has got Jyoti. Jyotishmat. The word Shukra, the planet Shukra is among all the planets, it is the most shining planet. Shukra. That Shukram, that shining, this Brahma is shining. It has the shine. So therefore, Jyotishmat. What shine? Not the physical shining. That is the light of Chaitanya, knowledge, consciousness. Therefore, Bhashyakara says, Jyotishmat. Shukram is Jyotishmat. Because it is Shukram, therefore it is Shudram, and it is Jyotishmat. Jyotishmat is Chaitanya Atma Jyoti Subhavam. That Jyoti is of the nature of Chaitanyam, consciousness. Chaitanyam eva Atma, Chaitanya Atma eva Jyotihi. Chaitanya Atma Jyotihi Subhavam Yasya Tat Brahmana, referring to Brahma. So, Brahma is that Jyoti, the light, in the presence of which everything is known. Therefore, it is called Jyotihi. We can connect this to the previous mantra. That is the previous mantra. That is last chapter. Last mantra of the last chapter. This is the first mantra. The last chapter, Atatra Suryo Bhati, we saw. So this is Bhati. Jyotishmat is Bhati. Jyotishman. Bhati shines. Its Swarupa, nature is shining. In the presence of that shine, that light, the light of consciousness, only everything shines. Everything is known. Everything comes to know, comes to knowledge. So therefore, that Moola, the root is Brahma. The Moola, that root is Brahma. The word Brahma, we know, it is derived from the Dhatu, Ruhi, Dhrigattamatvat Brahma, that which is big, that which expands, pervades. Expand means not physically expanding, which is expansive, which is all pervading. There is nothing which can limit. There are no limiting factors for that Brahma. It is because it is the Karanam, Karanatvat, Sarvavyapi, it is Mahatva, Mahatvam. Why it is Brahma? Sarva Mahatvat, Tat Brahma. It is Mahat is big. It is bigger. Sarva Mahatvat. It is the biggest of all. It is the biggest of everything. What is biggest? When you have biggest, the word biggest is superlative. Biggest, when we say it is among all the big things, it is the biggest. But the word biggest also, it's a limited. It has got the sense of limitedness, because when we hear the word biggest, the biggest mountain. So the biggest mountain also is limited only. But this biggest is not limited. The biggest mountain, the biggest building, the bangla, what is biggest? The biggest also is limited. But we say Brahma is biggest. It is unlimitedly, it is biggest, bigger, expansive, all pervading. That is, Brahma is limitless in terms of space, because it is the Adhishtanam even of space, Akasha. So it is limitlessly all pervasive. So it is time-wise all pervasive. That is, time cannot limit it. Therefore, space-wise, time-wise, it is limitless. Space-wise, time-wise, it is limitless. That limitlessness is what the word Magatvam, Magatvat, Mahatvat Brahma iti. Biggest, therefore it is Brahma. It is the adhishtanam of everything, including space. Space, when we say space, time also works in. So therefore it is Mahatvat, biggest, it is Brahma. It is called Brahma. Then this Brahma, which is the moolam of this samsara vriksha, which is of the nature of this right of consciousness. So why it is called Brahma? It is because of Sarva Mahatvat. The word Mahatvat, Mahatvam is greatest or biggest. The word greatest or biggest, as I said, it is in the general, it should not be taken as we use the word in the general sense. It is, since it is the adhishtanam, it is the karanam, therefore it is the greatest. There is nothing above it, because it is the only paramarthika satta. So all the words what we use are only in the vyavaharika, where the comparison takes place, where we compare an object with the other object, or among all the objects we say a particular thing is greater or bigger. But this is the adhara of everything, without which nothing exists. So therefore it is called Brahma. And it is Shuddham, Shubhram. Then the next line. Tadeva Amritam.
Tadeva Amritam.
तदेव अमृतम्
Vina Avinasha Swabhavam.
Avinasha Swabhavam.
स्वभावम्
Uchyate Katyate Satyatvat.
Uchyate
उच्यते
Katyate
सत्यत्वात्
Satyattvat.
Tat Eva, referring to that Brahma Eva, that which is pure, Shukram, Shubhram, Jyotishmat, Brahma Eva, Amritam iti Uchyate Katyate. Why? Hetu is Satyatvat. Previously, Sarva Mahatvat, Tat Brahma. Why it is called Brahma? The Hetu is Sarva Mahatvat. Sarvesham Mahatvam Asti. That Mahatvam is Mahantam, that is greater. Here it is Satyatvat. Satyatvat, Satyam is Sat. Sat is existence. Trikale yati tishtati tat Sat. Satyatvat, because of the nature of being, nature of existence, Avinasha Swabhavam Uchyate. What Amritam? Amritam is Avinasha Swabhavam. Avinashaha Swabhavaha Yasya Saha Yasya Tat. Here it is Brahma. That Brahma is called Amritam. Why it is called Amritam? Amritam means Namritam Amritam. That which doesn't have death. That which is not, that which doesn't die. So that is Amritam, and that is Avinasha Swabhavam. Why Brahma is called Amritam, Avinasha Swabhavam? Because Satyatvat, because it is of the nature of very existence. Therefore, that which is existence cannot cease to be. In Gita, Bhagavan Krishna says, Nasato vidyate bhavaha, na bhavo vidyate sataha, sataha abhavaha na vidyate. That which is Sat, Brahma, tasya abhavaha kadapi na vidyate. So that the Brahma cannot cease to be. So in every experience, the Brahma is there. When you say I am, that is am, it is Brahma. Every object exists, it is, the tree is, the pot is, the isness continues. That cannot be destroyed. That is Brahma. Because Brahma is being of the nature of existence, it can never go away. It will be there. And that Brahma alone manifests through many forms. This Jagat is nothing but the Nama Rupa of the manifestation of this Brahma. The Jagat is nothing but Nama Rupa. The Brahma alone manifests in the form of this Jagat, and this Jagat consisting of many objects, nothing but it is just a word and meaning, Nama and Rupa. So Bhashikara, now because this is Nama Rupa, therefore it is Nitya, and Brahma is Satyam, therefore Bhashikara aptly brings in the quote from the Chandogya Upanishad, the next line. Vacharambanam
वाचारम्भणम्
Vikaro Namadeyam
Vikaro namadheyam
Anrutam
Anritam
Anyadato Madhyam.
Anyadato madhyam.
So Brahma is Satyam. Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya. That Bhashikara beautifully tells here. So Amritam is Satyam. That is Satya. Satyatvat Brahma is Amritam. It has got Avinasha Svabhavam. Avinasha. That Avinasham is its Swarupam. But Amritam is its Swarupam. Sat is Swarupam. What about this Jagat? Brahma, which is Amritam, which is the Moolam. What about the Jagat? The Jagat is nothing but Vacharambano Vikaro Namadeyam. This is the quote from the Chandogya Upanishad, a very popular Vakyam of Uddhalaka to Shvetaketu in Chandogya. So Namadeyam is just a name. Every Karyam, the product is nothing but a Nama and Rupa. Every product is a product as a name. Every product Karya. Every Karya has a name, and that name is initiated by Vach. Vacha Rambanam. It is initiated by Vivak, the tongue. So Vacha Rambanam, Vikaraha. Vikaraha is the Karya, the product. The Vikaraha Namadeyam. The world, this Jagat, which is a Karya, is nothing but Namadeyam. It is a name, which is Vacha Arambanam, Vacha Arambanam. Vacha Arambanam, which is articulated by the mouth. Vacha Arambanam. So it is a word. It is nothing but a word which is articulated by the mouth. So a word doesn't have any substantiality. A word doesn't have any substantiality. That which doesn't have substantiality is what? It is Mithya, doesn't exist on its own. So therefore, this Jagat, which is just Namadeyam, it is Anyat Ataha Martyam. It is Anyat, other than Brahma. This Jagat is other than Brahma. It is not Brahma in the sense it doesn't have substantiality like Brahma. That's what Anyat. That's what the Anyat means. It is Anyat, therefore it is Martyam. Martyam is Mithya. Therefore it is Martyam. Martyam, the word really Martyam means that which dies away, mortal. What is that? It is Mithya. So it doesn't exist on its own because it doesn't have any substantiality. So this Jagat, which is a Vikara, and it is just a Namadeya initiated by the Vach, the Vak, the tongue. Therefore, it is different from the Brahma, and therefore it is Martya. Different from Brahma means it doesn't enjoy the same status as that of the Brahma. Brahma is independently existent, and this Jagat, which is Namarupatmaka Jagat, this Jagat has dependent existence. Therefore, it is Asat. Therefore, it is Mithya. Martyam is Asat. Satyatvad Brahma is Amritam. Here, it is Asatyatvad. Asatyam is Asat. Asat. Asatvad, this Jagat, which is a Vikara, it is Martyam, it is Mithya iti. So therefore it is subject to negation. Therefore this Jagat, which is Asat, Asataha Bhavaha na vidyate. Sataha Abhavaha na vidyate. Asataha Bhavaha na vidyate. So that which is Mithya really don't exist. Don't exist means don't exist on its own. Only in Vyavaharika it exists. From the Paramarthika Drishtya, it is na vidyate eva. In fact, the Vyavaharika itself enjoys this Sattvam because of the Paramarthika. Without the person, there is no Swapna. The Adhara for Swapna itself is the person. When the person wakes up to the Jagrata Avastha, the Swapna doesn't exist. So the Swapna has existence on this person. Similarly, the Swapna is negated. The Swapna Avastha is negated by the Jagrata Avastha. Similarly, this Vyavaharika Satta is negated by the Paramarthika Satta. When something is negated, it has to be Asat only, Mithya only. Therefore, Martyam. Martyam is subject to destruction, subject to negation. Then the next line. Tasmin Paramartha Satye
तस्मिन् परमार्थसत्ये
Paramartha Satya
Brahmani
ब्रह्मणि
Lokaha
लोकाः
Gandharva Nagara Marichi Udaka Maya Samaha
गन्धर्व
Gandharva
नगर
Nagara
मरीचिका माया
Udaka Maya
Samaha
Paramartha Darshana Abhava Avagamanaha
परमार्थ दर्शन भाव अवगमनाः
Shutaha Ashitaha
ताः
Ashitaha
आश्रिताः
Sarve Samastaha
सर्वे समस्ताः
Sarve Samastaha
Utpatti Sthiti Layeshu.
उत्पत्तिस्थितिलयेषु
Layeshu.
So, Tasmin Brahmani, Tasmin Paramartha Satye Brahmani, Tasmin, the Moolam it is a Tasmin Shitaha, Tasmin Shitaha, Tasmin Lokaha Shitaha, Sarve Lokaha Shitaha. So the Tasmin is what is the Tasmin Paramartha Satye Brahmani. On that Paramartha Satya, that is Brahma. Paramartha Satya, that which is real, absolutely real. On that Brahma, Tasmin Brahmani, Sarve Lokaha Ashritaha. All the lokas. Sarve Samastaha Lokaha. Shitaha Ashritaha are dependent. So, this Vyavaharika Jagat is dependent on this Paramarthika. Yatha Pratibhasika depends on Vyavaharika. Similarly, Vyavaharika depends on Paramarthika. So, Vyavaharika is the Adhisthana for Pratibhasika. Similarly, this Paramartha is the Adhishthanam for this Vyavaharika. Yatha, the rope is the Adhishthanam for the Sarpa, the snake. Snake is Pratibhasika. And the rope is Vyavaharika. The Pratibhasika Sarpa In the wake of the rope knowledge, what happened to the Pratibhasika Sarpa? It is negated. So when you see a rope, a rajju as a rajju, a rope as a rope, then the Pratibhadika snake is dismissed. The Pratipadika Sarpa enjoys existence as long as you see the rope as a snake. Therefore, this Sarpa as its adhishtanam on, as its ashraya on the adhishtanam Rajju. The Sarpa as its dependency on the rope. So, similarly, this Vyavaharika is dependent on Brahma, which is Paramarthika. So, therefore, this Gandharva Nagara Marichi Udaka Maya Samaha. Gandharva Nagari Marichi Udaka. This Vyavaharika dependent on Paramarthika Brahma. So, an example can be given, that is Maya Samahas. Similar to this Gandharva Nagara, the city in the clouds. Marichi, the mirage water. Maya, the magic. So, similar to this, Gandharva Nagara Marichi Udaka Maya Samaha. This Vyavaharika Satta, the lokas, all the lokas are compared to. Yeah, this is comparison to the loka. Sarve lokaha is that its lokas are comparable to this Gandharva Nagara. The lokas are compared to the mirage water or Marichi Udakam, or this Maya, the magic of a magician. So these are comparable to this, and therefore they which are Vyavaharika Ashitaha Paramata Satya Brahmani Ashitaha. They have Ashraya on the Adhisthana, this Brahma. So this Loka is comparable to this Maya, Marichi, Gandharva Nagari, etc. So therefore, all the lokas. Therefore, the loka is Mithya. This Vyavaharika Jagat consisting of all these lokas is dependent on the Satya Brahma. Therefore, it is Mithya. Jagat doesn't have independent existence. Why? Because it is a karya, it is a product. It is a product and the cause is Brahma. Therefore, Shritaha, Ashritaha, dependent on Brahma. Paramata Darshana Abhava Avagamanaha. Paramartha Darshana is the vision of Brahma. Paramartha is Brahma. The world, Abhava, this word is an adjective to, the Loka. Paramartha Darshana Abhava Avagamanaha. Avagamanaha is Avagamanam, understanding. This Abhava Avagamanaha, absence, Abhava is absence. So when you understand the Brahma alone is Satyam, then that is Avagamanam. Then what happened to the world? The world becomes Abhava, non-existing. So the knowledge of the absence of this world is only through Paramartha Darshanam. The word absence means it is not Tucham, it is Nitya. This lokas do not exist on its own, they have dependent existence. That is the Abhava, doesn't exist. That is the non-existence here. Non-existence means not absolutely non-existent. That nothing which absolutely non-existing thing exists. No absolute non-existent thing exists. So here non-existence means that lokaha non-existing means they do not exist on its own. So the non-existence of this loka is understood. The knowledge of the non-existence of this loka is understood by the knowledge of Brahma, by the vision of Brahma. That is Paramartha Darshana. Yata Raju Darshana Abhava Avagamanaha Sarpaha. The snake. What is the snake? The snake is a projection. When the right knowledge of rope take place, then the knowledge of the absence of snake take place. When the right knowledge of rope comes, then the absence of the snake is understood. Similarly here, when the knowledge of Brahma, Paramartha Darshanam, Darshanam is seeing means understanding, knowledge. Paramartha Darshanena Abhava Avagamanaha. Abhava is absence. Absence, Avagamana is understanding. Understanding of the absence of what? The loka. Understanding of the absence of the lokas takes place when there is Paramartha Darshanam. Yata Rajju Sarpa Darshana Abhava Avagamanaha Sarpaha. In the wake of the knowledge of rope, then in the wake of the knowledge of rope, that is in the rope knowledge, in rope jnanam, rajju jnane sati, sarpa jnana, sarpa ajnanam, vinashyati, tadvateva. So in the wake of rope knowledge, sarpa jnanam is ajnanam, that goes away. Similarly, in the wake of knowledge of Brahma, these lokas are understood to be mithya. That is what the word Paramartha Darshana Abhava Avagamanaha. Therefore, they are ashitaha on this Brahma. So this word is a qualifier. All these words are Gandharva Nagari Marichi Udaka Maya Samaha Lokaha. And these lokas are Paramartha Darshana Abhava Avagamanaha. Lokaha, adjective to loka. And they are shitaha, dependent. Ashitaha is equal to ashitaha. Sarve, samastaha. And what? Taspin Paramartha Satya Brahmani. On that Paramartha Brahma. So, therefore, when the Vivarta Karana Ajnana Nashe, when Vivarta Karya Nashaha Bhavati, when there is the removal of the ignorance of this adhishtanam, there will be the removal of the karya, the product. This sarpa is a product. This lokas are a product. So when the ajnanam regard to the adhishtana, that is the raju, that is the Brahma. Raju is an example. Brahma takes place. What happens to the karya, jagat, the karya, the sarpa is negated. Similarly. So yata raju is the rope is the vivarta karana. The rope doesn't undergo any change to become a sarpa. Rope doesn't undergo any modification. The rope seems to be a snake. That is vivarta karanam. There is a ajnanam with regard to the karanam, vivarta karanam. When there is the destruction of this ajnanam with regard to the vivarta karanam, that is the rope, then what happened to the vivarta karyam? The karyam is sarpa. Sarpa ajnanam is a karyam. Kim bhavati? Tasyapi nashtaha bhavati. Vivarta karya nashaha bhavati. Therefore, vivarta karana ajnana nashe. On the destruction of the ajnanam of the vivarta karanam, or we can put it in positively, in the wake of the jnanam, what happens to the vivarta karya? Vivarta karyasya nashanam bhavati. There is the destruction of the karya. Karya means the product. Karya means the effect. when there is a removal of the cause of ignorance, then the karya stands negated, goes away. So therefore, here Brahma being the Vivarta Karanam, and there is ignorance with regard to that. So in the wake of knowledge, that is, when there is removal of Ajnanam with regard to this Vivarta Karanam Brahma, then what happens to this Jagat, which is Vivarta Karyam? Vivarta Karyam stands negated because it goes away in the wake of Jnana Nitya, because it is Asat. It is Asat, it is Nitya. Therefore, sarve samastaha lokaha, which are there, where utpatti sthiti layeshu. Its utpatti, it is, the world is utpatti, it is produced and it is sustained and it is laya, it is dissolved. So utpatti sthiti layeshu sarve, in the birth, in the sustenance and in the resolution, this lokaha are dependent on this Paramartha Brahma. Paramartha Satya Brahmani, it is dependent. So the world is born. Where it is born? It is born in Brahma. It is sustained by Brahma. And it is resolved back into Brahma. Like in the Swapna Prapancha. The Swapna Prapancha is based on this, the waker, the person. It is born because of this waker. Waker is not that there is no Swapna. Because the waker is there, therefore, waker means the person is there. The person is there, therefore, Swapna Prapancha is born. And it is sustained. And it is resolved back into the waker. In the waker, the person wakes up. It is resolved back. Tadvat, all these lokas are dependent on the Paramartha Vastu Brahma. Then the next line. Tadu Tad Brahma
Tadu tad Brahma
Brahma
Atyeti
Natyeti
Natyeti
Atyeti
Na Atyeti Natyeti Na Ativartate
Na
Na
Ativartate
Ativartate
Vartate
Mridadim Iva
Mrudadimiva
Mridadim Iva
Gatadikaryam
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 Kaschana Kaschidapi Vikaraha
Kaschana Kaschidapi
Kaschana
Vikaraha
Kaschidapi Vikaraha
Vikaraha
Etadvaitat.
Etad Vaitat
Etadvaitat
This Na Atyeti we have seen previously also. Na Atyeti, Na Ativartate doesn't transcend, doesn't exist beyond that. That is nothing above. There is nothing above Brahma. Because it is the Karanam. There is nothing above clay compared to the clay products, pot, etc. They are all dependent on clay only. And the clay dependent on nothing. Clay is as a final cause. It is the cause. Mridadi miva gatadikari. The product like pot, etc. They cannot transcend clay because clay is the karana. It is the adhisthana, it is the adhar. Pot cannot exist beyond the clay. Pot is a effect, the karya. Cannot enjoy independent existence. And clay independently exists. Because pot has a dependent existence. Therefore, pot na atyeti. Mridadim iva gatadikaram na ativartate. Tadvat, similarly, nothing, kaschana kaschitapi vikaraha. Tad Brahma na atyeti. This vikara, this any product, anything, any karya, this jagat is a karya. They cannot transcend, they cannot be above Brahma. That is, it means Brahma is above everything. It is That is why it is called Mula. That is why it is above Urdha Mulaha. The mantra also says Urdha Mulaha is this is what the meaning is. Urdha Mulaha. Not physically it is Urdhva. It is above. It is above means it is the Adhishtanam of everything. It is a causeless cause of everything. Therefore, it is above. Nothing transcends this Brahma. So, Brahma is Natyeti iti. Etadvaitat. Etadvaita. Vaitat. This is what you want to know. Hey Nachiketa, through your third boon. Etadvaitat. So, therefore, what was presented in this mantra is Brahma is the Moolam, it is the Karanam, and this Jagat is a Vikara, continues to change. It is like Ashwatha, never the same, continues to change all the time, and it is Sanatana. Sanatana is, it is there, and it continues to be. It is permanently changing, changingly permanent. It has got changing permanency. And this permanently changing this samsara vriksha as its adhisthana on the Brahma, and the Brahma is, it is Shuddham, it is Shukram, Shuddham, which is Paramarthika, and therefore it is not influenced by this Vyavaharika, and therefore it is above, it is Karanatvat, Kaschita na atyeti. And nothing exists apart from, that is, nothing exists apart from Brahma. That is what it means, na atyeti. So, the Drishtanta is given, Bhashyakara himself has given the Drishtanta, that pot is there, clay is there. So, the clay products, Vikara, the Karya, cannot exist apart from clay. So, therefore, in the pot, the clay is there. Similarly, in the Jagat, Brahma is there. As Sat, as the Adhisthana, it is there. So, without undergoing any change, it has become this Jagat, and this Jagat is Mithya. It is Martyaha, it is Vikaratva, it is Martyaha, Mithya, iti. Therefore, Tat Brahma, Kaschit Tat Brahma, na atyeti, na ativartate. Nothing transcends this Brahma, which is the Moolam, the Karanam, it is the Adhishtanam, iti. With this Vibhashya to this mantra, important mantra is completed. Then comes the next mantra. The next mantra that Bhashyakara himself, through a Sangati, raises an objection. Sangati is an objection, and the answer and the answer to the objection is provided in the form of the mantra. That is a Bhashyakara connects. That we will see. We will see that in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanta Shanta Shantihi. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
Dhanyavad.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
Dhanyavad.